Hey, so I'm sat. First of all, I have a bit of a sore throat, so I'm sorry about the stuffy noise coming out of me. Um, I am really pleased to be part of the Daydream community, obviously, like everyone here, and I'm really happy to be able to share some of my knowledge about Unity. I've been doing development for a while now, probably around 8 months with Unity, but game development wise, a solid at least 5 years with game development. So I want to share some stuff about how to create a Daydream app. The most basic thing I can teach you, and the most basic way to create a Daydream app. So I'm gonna really quickly. I'm gonna assume you've got Unity already installed, but if you don't, real quickly, go to Unity, download the personal edition. So it's free. If you're learning how to do stuff, just do it for free. Don't really try. Don't pay for anything. Download 5.6. That's the version that I'm using to do the tutorials in. If you're watching this by any chance in the future, things might look different. if you're using 5.7 or 6.0 for example, download that, install it, run it, and then you should see this in front of you. Once you've got that running, you might have to install a few other things as well, like the Java SDK, and one or two other things, but I think that it should ask you for that during the install. Okay, so let's assume for now you've got to this point, and I'll talk you through how to get your first Daydream VR app running on your Mac or PC as well as your phone. And this will also teach you how to basically convert any non-VR app, or at least know what needs to change for it to work on Daydream. So you can look at normal Unity tutorials and then know what's missing to be able to make it into a Daydream app. So first of all, what we want to do is let's have a look at what this comes with. We've got an inspector menu here. We've got a main camera. And when we click on it, on the inspector menu, some information pops up. We've got a directional light here, and again, information pops up. We've got a scene view, and we've got a game view, and you can pull these out and move them around. So that's game views here now. So you might even have a different setup, and that's okay. That's totally fine. I can even take this out and move it anywhere I like. So the scene view is what we as game developers are working with, so we can see all the behind the scenes stuff. So we can see the camera there, icon for the camera. We can see an icon here for the light. But the game view is what you see when you're actually inside the game. So the person who's playing the game sees this inside the game, and what they're actually seeing is the camera's view. So if I click on the camera icon, we can see the camera's view here, and it gives us a preview here as well. So it's pretty straightforward to understand that. And then there's a few other things going on, like project windows and so on, animation stuff, which we probably won't go into now. So let's get this working. So Daydream VR is done by Google. So the second thing we need to do once we've got everything installed is we need to download the Google VR SDK. Okay, so you're in a Google VR SDK. You want to click on the first link, and then once you've done that, you want to go to just getting started. There you go, getting started in Unity. Why is this tricky? Why is this trickier than it should be? Where's the VR? Where's the button gone? No, that's not right. There you go. Even if someone who's supposedly as advanced as me has trouble navigating this stuff, so if you ever have any issues, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Here we go. Downloads Unity. Okay, so I managed to get the end. I'm gonna leave that in. I'm not gonna edit that out because I kind of want you to see. Even though you know what the steps are, you're going to make mistakes, or you're going to struggle to find something, even if it's fairly obvious, even if you've just done it. and that's perfectly normal. So don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's perfectly normal to struggle at times. All right, so Google Vr Sdk for Unity. Since we're using Unity, that's what we're gonna hit. We're gonna download that, save that onto our computer. I've already got it saved there. Google Vr Unity package. I'm gonna cancel this because I don't want to download it again. Once that's downloaded, you go to Assets, Import Package, and you want to go to Custom Package, and then you want to go to Google VR for Unity. I'm going to open this. Now it's preparing the package. It's opening it up. It's decompressing some stuff, so we just have to wait a little bit while this does it, and then it's going to give us a list of stuff that we can import into our project. We basically want all of this because it's all useful for us. We could technically take the iOS bit off since we're building for Android, but I'm just going to leave everything on for simplicity's sake, and I'm going to hit import. Alright, so that's going to import. Let me know if this happens quicker for you than it does for me. I think my laptop's pretty slow, so it's getting on a bit. So I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna edit out the coughing for now. I'm not gonna bother editing this out. It should give you a realistic look at how time-consuming program. I think time-consuming is probably the biggest thing about programming, more so than anything, especially if things crash. Alright, so we got Google Daydream in here, right? And we've got Google VR, and we've got our plugins folder here. So now this is the part that is this is just to show you how easy this is, and this is what you should do when you get any kind of new tech, is go straight to the demos folder. In this case, look at scenes. So a scene is exactly what it sounds like, really. It's just a scene is one of the particular areas that a character or player is going to be in. Like a room, for example, and you can have different rooms. Each of those rooms could be an entire scene. Your game you could have an entire game that was a scene as well. But we're going to do, so we've already got one scene. It's untitled at the moment, and it's got a main camera in a direction. This is our scene. But we're going to get rid of this scene, and we're going to swap it for our GVR demo. Let's drag and drop that in here. And this has popped up now. So let's right click on Untitled. Let's remove scene. That's gone now. So now, this is the game menu that I'm in here. I'm going to click on the scene tab now. So now I can look at the scene tab and I can see what we've got here. I can scroll around using the middle mouse button, and what we can see is that we have a camera here, like we had in the other one. We have got some light, that light icon there, but we've also got, if I just move around, we've got a controller here. Right, so you obviously recognize that from the Daydream, every single Daydream game you've ever played. We've got this box here that says FPS on it, and we've got a cube here, and we've got to use the controller, please upgrade your version of Unity. So the one other thing you need to do is you need to download the controller emulator on your Google phone. So if you have a Pixel, for example, I actually have a HTC One and a Pixel phone, and I have the controller emulator on my HTC One, and you can just download the APK, set this all up, configure the device by going through these steps, and then you are away to go, and then your phone will have this image on it, and which is a fake Daydream controller. A Daydream controller on your phone when it's connected via USB to your computer, and this allows you to kind of mimic the Daydream controller with your phone. So you can do everything you could with that. You may need to change some settings. Yeah, that's right. Actually, it does tell you how to change your phone settings. So before you can even install this app, you can download it, but you won't be able to install it and run it on your phone unless you set the developer options on and allow for I think it's called like non-Play Store apps, APKs to run. Then you'll be able to get this on. So make sure you follow these steps. If you have any issues, again, just leave a comment and I'll try and help you out there. But it's pretty straightforward. You should be able to get through that. Again, if not, just let me know. So once you've got that in, you can connect your phone to your computer. So I'm connected to my Mac via USB. And if I press play now, we have to use the controller, please upgrade to a version of Unity with the GVR native integration. So it hasn't worked, which is crazy, right? You'd think I got it right, but I didn't. I got it wrong. So we need to fix this. So let's take some steps to fix this. Okay, so let's just go through what we've done. First of all, the first thing we've done is we've installed 5.6, and 5.6 is Google Daydream compatible. The second thing we've done has a Google Daydream integrated within it natively. We've also downloaded Google Vr Sdk, and the reason we've done that is because we wanted a demo scene set up, and this demo scene has all these prefabs built in, and prefabs are pre-built tools that we can tap into, like for example this controller. And this controller wasn't part of the regular Daydream Unity 5.6. This came as part of this. Other things like spatial sounders or audio. So but we haven't actually told Unity, we haven't set up so that Unity knows that this is a Daydream app that we're building. So we'll have to change that in some of the settings. The first thing we'll do is go and build settings and make sure we select Android, because at the moment it thinks we're creating a PC Mac application. We're not. So let's select Android and let's click switch platforms. Let's wait for that to get done. Okay, so that's done, except it said to me it's detected GVR libraries targeting a pre 5.4 build of Unity. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but okay, so I think it's because I didn't remove some of the stuff that was in the plugins folder, but this is smart enough to notice that, so it's telling me to remove them. So I'm just going to hit remove and let it do what needs to be done, which is good. I think in previous ones they didn't remove them actually, and there was a lot of mayhem that ensued because of that. So now we've swapped to an Android build. So now we're building a Unity GVR demo on Android, but we need to still let Unity know that this is a Daydream application. So let's hit play settings. Let's move this out a little so we've got a bit more space. So now in the inspector menu that we talked about before, we've got some options that we can look at. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to click virtual reality supported, and then from the list, which is empty, I'm going to select Daydream. So you could see, if I leave that list open for you, you can select a bunch of other things, Cardboard app, Oculus, and I think you can add other things to this as well. But we've got Daydream now, and that's really all we need to get this running, this little demo running on our Mac or PCs. We'll have to do a little bit more if we want to get it running on a device, but I'll talk you through that in a bit. Actually, one other thing, we want to just change the minimum API level to, I think 7 is the minimum. 7 was when Daydream is available. Okay, so let's close this and let's hit play now. Right, so now it says controller disconnected. So I'm not sure why it's saying controller disconnected, but let's try that again. I thought my phone was connected in. Maybe it was a little disconnected. Let's try again. So I'll plug my phone in, hit play. GVR visual alpha output. Alright, so when I hit play, I've got this error here. This is the second time this has happened to me before. It happened once before. The strange thing about it was it went away. It went away after I re-imported and it went away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play. I'm going to clear this. I'm going to hit file and I'm going to do new scene. And I'm going to say don't save. And that's going to remove the old scene, the old project, which is this GVR demo we had. It's going to remove it and delete it. Now I'm going to remove Google VR and I'm going to remove the plugins folder, which might sound crazy, but we're going to do it anyway. So I'm going to hit delete, and now what we've got is a Daydream enabled unit again. Same one as before, but I'm assuming now that because I'm not going to change anything here. I'm assuming because we've changed those settings to Daydream, it should get rid of that error. But I'm leaving this in also so that you can see how just these small little things can cause issues with programming. Such a small, minute change, doing one step instead of another one, can cause issues. Alright, let's try this one more time, eh? Let's go to scenes, GVR demo, and let's hit remove scene for this old scene. And we're back to exactly what we were before. So console shows us errors, by the way, and just general information. You don't need to worry too much about that. I've got a feeling we could remove the iOS stuff, but it looks like it's ignoring it, so we'll leave that. And let's hit play. Let's hope that this works now. Ah, there you go. It's worked. There's no... How crazy is that, right? I didn't change any of the settings. All I did was import this after changing those original settings. So now we have this GVR demo working. If you tap or you press the Alt key on your keyboard, you can move them while the mouse is on the game tab. The game tab is selected and your mouse is on here. You don't have to tap anything, you just hold it there. You can look around the screen. And because we have got I connected the emulator on, we've also got, you can look over here, we can move our phone, and the internal gyroscope of our phone allows us to have some sort of movement with the controller. And if I tap the middle part of my emulator on my phone, I even can see where I'm tapping on this circle. I'm going to hold that middle button like the reset button so I can reset the view. And now if I move around, I can point at this square and tap it, and it will disappear and appear somewhere else. Now there is an issue here that we still have and we need to fix, and that is that there's no sound. Alright, and so I know there's supposed to be sound in here because I've used this before. Now click on this cube, which you can click on in the scene view or in the hierarchy here. Hierarchy shows everything that's in the game, in the particular scene. And we scroll down here, we can see a component called GVR audio source. Now I don't want you to play around too much with this yet. You can do whatever you like, but don't worry, don't feel intimidated and think you don't know what any of this is. We maybe go over this in the future one, but I just wanted to show you this. This is the GVR audio source. This is a component that has been added to a cube. A cube is a basic building block of Unity. Now if I click on the audio clip here that says cube sound, it will show us in the project folder where that is stored, and that's stored in the directory here. Now if I click on that cube sound here, you might have it hidden, so if you've got it hidden you can just scroll up there and then you can press play and you can hear the sound that's supposed to be playing. And I'm going to stop that and click on that cube again, and I'll scroll down back to the GVR audio source. The difference between a GVR audio source and a normal audio source is the audio source will play everywhere, and it will kind of sound like it will just sound like you're in the audio. I know I can't really explain it better than that. It's just a constant sound. Whereas an GVR audio source is spatial, so it's a bit of a 360 sound. The closer it is to you, the louder it is, the further away. The further away, the quieter it gets. If it's on the left-hand side of you, you'll hear it on the left headphone. So it's so important for VR. And we can see here it's play on awake, which means it starts up immediately, and it's looped, which means we should be hearing it all the time and constantly. But we can't hear it. So we need to fix that. So to fix that, we have to go to Edit. I think it's Edit, Project Settings, and then Audio. And then we have to change the Spatializer plugin to GVR Audio Spatializer. Now, this is there because we downloaded the GVR, the Google plugin. So the Google plugins also has a spatializer, which is so important. So I think I even had someone who is using Oculus talk about how they downloaded the GVR audio spatializer, just the Google plugin, just so they can use a spatializer when working on Oculus. That was like a year ago, so I don't know how true that is now, but it was very interesting to hear that. So, alright, so let's try playing this again, and let's see if we can hear this cube in front of us. We can now, right? It's great. So, I can look around, and I can move my controller, there we go. And if I click on it, we can hear, I don't know if you can hear it as well through the video, but I now can hear that it's coming from the right hand side, even from my Mac. And now I can hear it's really close to me now. There you go, it's right behind me. So there you go, you get the idea. So this is like the most simple Daydream application that you can have in the quickest amount of time that works with the controller. One thing I will say is the controller, using this emulator, the controller emulator from your phone, it's really awkward. The phone, my phone especially, the HTC One, it's really bad. It's so bad when it comes to using it in regards to the positioning of it, and I have to really struggle to point out what I'm trying to point at. So don't worry if you have the same issue. It's very normal. So we've got this working now on our computer, and it wasn't too bad. And from here we could easily kind of upgrade this and have, you know, a room where, or even get rid of this room and have a different kind of background. Maybe you're in a field or a forest or a building, and there was, say, zombies running at you, and you're pointing your Daydream controller at them, and your Daydream controller was a gun, and you were just clicking on them, and you're shooting them, for example. We could have something else where the camera is constantly moving. I think I saw someone check. Here we go. Here we go. So, Brendan Knight, you know, thanks for leaving this comment on the Daydream community site. It's really good. And if you're watching this and you kind of want more tutorials, or you have any ideas for them, let me know. Leave them here. Feedback's always helpful. Good and bad as well. Positive criticism is always helpful. You mentioned the roller coaster app for Daydream, and Paul, you mentioned something like Blood Rush. I've played Blood Rush, funny enough, so that's kind of cool. I know what you're both talking about. So that would involve the camera constantly moving. You can see I'm moving it now, and as I'm moving it, the preview on the bottom right hand side of the screen is also updating to reflect that. So that would be moving constantly to kind of create that feel that we're moving on a roller coaster. And then we've got the controller as a weapon, and then we'd need to change stuff like the square to be zombies. And I think that's something that's strange enough that's not too difficult to build. I mean, it's time consuming, things are going to go wrong, but it's not the most difficult app to build. So maybe if you'd like, I can build aspects of that, but that all depends on how you found this demo. I don't know if I went through things too quickly or not fast enough in this video tutorial. So yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, so the final thing I want to do is tell you how to get this. Even though it's not amazing, I still want to tell you how to get this onto your phone. So we want to do that is we're going to go to File, Build Settings, Player Settings again. Actually, there's another way to get into Player Settings. I think let's edit Project Settings, Player. Here we go. And there's a few things we need to change. First of all, oops, let me go back to that. Shift this out again. First of all, we need to put in a default company name. So I'm just gonna say Sats Tutorial for now. My first Daydream game tutorial I'll do. For product name, we need to fill these in, and then I'm also gonna okay, so it will work without doing the next thing I'm going to show you, but I think it's important to show you anyway. You want to click multi-threaded, you want to have GPU skinning as well. These will speed things up during gameplay, and actually you want to have single pass as well. So this makes things, so if you notice, this is multi-pass stereo rendering will be used on Android devices that don't support single pass stereo rendering. Single pass works for Daydream since we've already got that here. I'm not going to go into technical aspects of it, but it will make the frame rate really fast. It's a lot more smoother gameplay, which is incredibly important for VR. But you don't have to do this. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, and you can change those settings if you like. The thing you do have to do is change this package name. So the package name is usually your company name and then your product name. So I'm gonna say my company name. It needs to be unique as well. Put my first name. The best way of doing this is if you have a website, put the website's domain here. So I'm just gonna put for now my name and then tutorial, and that'll do for now. So you can put your name and tutorial. That should be okay. But I wouldn't release on the Play Store with this. Obviously, you're not going to do this. This is just a tutorial, but just giving you a heads up. Okay, so that should be enough for us now to... there's always some extra stuff in here that you can do, but I'm not going to go into that. That's enough for us to build to our own Pixel devices or whatever Daydream device you have. So to do that, you need to just plug in your Pixel device to your machine. All right. Okay. So you plug it in to your Daydream phone, and then you just have to go to File, Build and Run, and then hit Build and Run. Oh, actually, one other thing we need to do, it says Scenes in Build. We don't have anything here. So we want to click, we want GVR demo to be in there. So there's two things we could do. We could either drag this into here, like so, or we could have clicked the Add Open Scenes one. And now that we have a scene in there, this will be the scene that gets opened on our app when we start things up. So let's just hit Build and Run. Let's give it a name. My first app, my first Daydream app. Hit save, and this should generate an APK. So let's have a look at this. It says, please set the bundle identifier in the player setting. The value must follow the convention, your company name, your product name, and can contain alpha numeric characters and underscore. Each segment must not start with a numeric character or underscore. So what did I do with my player settings that does not conform to that? Let's have a look at that. Let's see. So, I thought I changed that, but it looks like it didn't. It looks like it didn't register. I'm gonna get rid of this button as well. It's not for TV, but I don't know why. Oh, okay. I know what. I think I know what I did wrong here. So com dot. I'm gonna say squant dot daydream test, and I didn't hit enter. So you have to hit enter. It's a bit of a killer here with you when you're using Unity, but when you're typing stuff in, you must hit enter. If you don't, it will remove it. Lucky it worked for some of them. Some fields you have to hit enter. Others, funnily enough, you don't have to. It's a bit funny like that, but it looks like it's in now. So if I hit build again, build and run again, it should work. And I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna change anything here. I'm just gonna leave it as in. And then again, I think it's important to show you these kind of mistakes. I could edit them out. I know it increases the length of the video, but I want you to see that even I make mistakes. I've been doing this for a while now. It happens. It's perfectly normal. I've worked with people who have been doing this for 10, 15 years. Everyone makes mistakes. It's just part of the way it goes. If you want to be a good developer, you just have to be persistent and patient and really flexible when it comes to changing and adapting. But you also have to be quite forgiving to yourself. It's just part of it. Making mistakes is part of how things are. Okay, so let's see if that works now. I'll let you know when it does. What looks like is deploying player. So it looks like we've got a little bit further. Don't know if it said that last time. Okay, so it looks like it's worked now. So it's telling me on my phone to place my phone into the Daydream controller and to get started. Press the home button. So everything's working on my phone. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I kind of know it works. But let's see if I can get the sound working. There you go. So you can hear the sound working on my phone. I was tempted to put the webcam on so I could show you, prove it that it's actually working on my phone. But I look like a wreck since I'm not feeling very well, so I'm going to skip that part. I hope you can forgive me. Let me know what you think of this tutorial. It's the quickest way to get things up and running. A Daydream app. It doesn't get much quicker than this. Real quick, I'll just show you all this amazing stuff that they've put in for us. So we have, in particular, is it the import one? Let's see, which one is it? Player. So we've got a player. The main camera is all working at the laser, the GVR controller pointer. This is like the controller we have. You can double click on it and zooms in. We've got the laser as well, the reticle for the laser. This is all comes in built in for us. The tool tips as well. So when you zoom in and go really close to the controller, you can see these little tips about what each button does. This all comes pre-built, and of course we've got all this other crazy stuff set up, which I don't really. I kind of get the gist of it, but I've never really fully looked into. Mainly because there's no need. You just need to know that it needs to be in there for it to work. So if we wanted to build our next app, we'd just start deleting this stuff. So here's the cube room. We'll just hit delete. Get rid of this cube, for example, as well. And keep on deleting stuff. I'm gonna put Control and Z down, bring that back in. But yeah, look, I'm gonna stop this tutorial now. And then I'll post this and then wait for your feedback. If you want me to expand on this and talk about a few other things, maybe need some help with installations, I can do that as well. But if you want me to, if you have any suggestions for a different style where you'd like me to take this tutorial, please visit daydreamdistrict.com. Here we go, daydreamdistrict.com, and then hit community, log in, make yourself an account, hit community here, and then I'm gonna be usually on the Daydream development side of things. Sebastian here, you can see Sebastian here. He's been working really hard to build this community up, and every single person on here, people like Paul, for example, everyone's been on here, and it's honestly it's great to be part of it. So if you have a Daydream phone, and you just found out about this through Daydream District from me, then please jump on the Daydream District community site. It's great. Everyone on there is really supportive of each other and of the community as well. If you want further tutorials, leave a message on maybe on the Daydream general development. If you yourself have some advice and you'd like to give some cool tutorials as well, this is a good place to leave those as well. And if you just want to hear about the newest games, jump on here as well. I'm not getting paid to say this. I am just someone who thinks the community is great and would like to add to it. So yeah, jump on, and I'll be on here. And if you leave a message on the Daydream development community group about this video or on the video itself, I'll get back to you guys. And let's maybe take this further. Maybe we can have an entire game or a little demo built up based off of the tutorials that you request. Alright, thanks guys, I hope that was helpful, and I'll speak to you later on.